Hello guys, welcome to CodeRuck. Hope you are doing great. Once again, welcome to ReactJs complete series. In previous videos, we have discussed about React's important features. Now, in this video, we will go deeper into React. Today, we are going to learn about React's one of the most important feature, which is JSX. That means today we will learn about JSX. Let's get started. First of all, JSX stands for JavaScript XML. JSX allows us to write HTML in React, which make it easier to add HTML in React. As some of you might be familiar that in JavaScript we are not allowed to add HTML, but if we want to add, then we either have to append HTML or we have to write complex code. Like if I give you the example, this one is my app.js, because this, first of all, this is my React application which I'm running in my browser. Okay, now this one is the main component. Later I will introduce about the component part, but for right now you can say this one is the paragraph which I'm rendering in my browser. Now we can say this is the part of JSX which allow us to write or add HTML in JS. You can see app.js, so that means this is JavaScript file. But I was telling you that in JavaScript we are not allowed to add HTML directly. Just like we are normally returning from a function, we are returning HTML, but we are not allowed to do. But through JSX we are able to make it. Now I was telling you, if you have to add HTML in React, or if you have to add HTML or paragraph, any kind of HTML, if you want to do in JS, normal JS, then what you have to follow, you have to write complex logic. Like I'm just giving you the example. Like suppose you have to make title. Okay, now what you have to do, you have to make document dot create element. First you have to create element. Which type of element you want to create? I want to create a paragraph. Now what I have to do, okay, this I'm just making it title dot in inner HTML. I want to write some text, that is, this is CodeRuck. After this one we have to append that paragraph title we have created or paragraph we have created. So for that one, what we have to do, document dot body dot append child, and this will be title. So you can see, for one single paragraph we have to write 3 lines of code, but here we can simply write p tag, which is an HTML tag, and we can write our title. But in JS we have to write this much of code, so which is very much complex. If this is only for one paragraph, now if you have to render table, if you have to make your dynamic content, then it will be too much complex for you. That means for single tag we have to write complex code. So if we have to add complex HTML, it would be difficult for us to manage. Same in React as well. If we don't want to use JSX to add HTML, then we have to follow different, and I can say complex path to add HTML. Now this one I can remove. Okay, here I am writing JSX. Now you as a developer might think, why I'm going to write this one? I will follow traditional or different approach to write an HTML. Then what you have to do, you have to follow different path. Like for creating a paragraph, in React you have to write code like const title, okay, react dot create element. Now which type of element you want to create? I want to create paragraph. Now this will be an object and this will be the content of the paragraph. This is code rug. So I have to write this much of code for this single paragraph. Now in case of JSX, suppose if you have to add class name, then you can able to make. If you have to add some other attribute, you can able to make it, or you can able to write it very easily. But in case of react.create element, you have to follow proper syntax, you have to follow proper object if you have to add some kind of attribute. Now inside a paragraph we can have you can have span as well very easily. You can write this is test, right? But here in paragraph, if you have to write another, I can say tag, then you have to add another create element and another. So that means it will be too much complex for you to manage these things. So in React, to overcome this problem, they have introduced the concept of JSX. Now you must be wondering, we are writing normal HTML, but how it is working behind the scene? Under the hood, after compilation, this JSX expression become regular JavaScript code. So under the hood, this whole JSX part will get converted to normal JavaScript. Just like we have seen create element, then we are defining paragraph, we are defining attribute, all these things. So this will be made by React automatically behind the scene. So you don't have to worry and you don't have to think about it. React will make it automatically for us. Now what we have to do, we just have to write HTML for our code or our project. Now we have seen these things. Now I'm going to show you different examples how you can write more complex expression and other things in JSX. Now I'm just saving this file. Okay, I'll just refresh it. Let it get refreshed. By the time, what I will do, I will just remove this anchor tag. Okay, I will just write some paragraph. This is JSX. Okay, I'm saving this one. So it is, you can see it is showing me there. Now you must be wondering, suppose if I write 5 plus 5, what it will show? It will show 5 plus 5, but I want to make it sub addition. So for that one, with JSX, you can remember this point, with JSX you can write expression inside curly braces. Now the expression can be a React variable or property or any other valid JavaScript expression. So JSX will execute the expression and return the result. Now I want to make addition of this one. What I can do, I can make use of curly braces, 5 plus 5. Now if I save it, it will be 10. So all the expression, if you have to write, you have to use curly braces. Okay. Now if you want to suppose list item ul li like first li. Now you can see I have added ul li, that is list item. So if you see the output, then you can see the list item first and second will be displayed here. Now the important point, you can make note of it. Suppose we have two HTML element, and if I am returning from it, one is paragraph, okay, and another one is ULLI. Now if I save it, it will give an error. It is because as per the error, you can see the warning message, adjacent JSX element must be wrapped in an enclosing tag. Did you want a JSX fragment? Now the fragment, React portal, all these things I will give you in brief, but for right now, as per the error, it says JSX must be enclosed with some parent element. So that means there has to be one parent element. So in my case, but in early example, you can see div was the parent element, and inside that one we have, or we can say header, but whatever you can say, div is the parent element. Inside that one we have header, and then it can be paragraph, ULLI, list item, anything. So there has to be one parent element. Now if I give you the example, if I remove this one, I can have only one div. If I show, and if you see the output, div, okay, this one, sorry. Now you can see it is giving me my expected output. So that means it needs to be one parent element, it has to be enclosed with that one. Okay, so like in the same way we can add other stuff. We can have, input type text as well. Okay, here is our input type text as well. Normally you are writing HTML, so same way you can able to add, but there some key difference are there. Now normally in HTML, if you have to add class, then what you have to do, you can write a class and then you can give your class name. But in React JSX, what we have to do, we have to write class name if we want to add some kind of class. So normally in HTML we write class, but in React JSX we have to write class name as an attribute to add classes. Okay, other than that, we can say if some condition or some conditional condition you have to write, what you can do, you can use curly braces, and you can check. Suppose we can take one variable like const name is equal to code rug. Now I'm just writing one conditional condition, copy paste. Now name equal to code rug. If this will be satisfied, it will say yes, or it will say no. So if I show you, it will say yes. Now if I change something, code rug 1, it will be no. So in this way you can write your conditional statement. So I can say this is enough for the JSX part. As we go deeper, you can able to see much more complex I can say logics, how you can able to write it. Suppose because if you are listing a table, then definitely you have to loop through your API data. Then how you can able to loop it through your data in JSX. So all these things, because at once if I if I'm going to inform you, or if I'm going to tell you, then it will be like too much. Then in later upcoming videos, once we go in series by series videos, then you can able to get into more details of that one. So for this much we can say, this is for today's tutorial. Thank you all. Don't forget to subscribe, like and comment. Thank you guys.